They are treated as inferiors by the Arab elite.
Of course, your typical colonial empire.
Al-Qaeda attacks the Twin Towers in New York.
Oh, he going this deep.
Suddenly,
All right, I didn't even know they did a Islam one.
the second most practiced religion on
here
earth,
we are.
emerges in the 7th century from what many at the time consider a backwater, the desert region of Arabia.
I mean, it was.
The founder of Islam is Muhammad, a merchant born around 570 in the city of Mecca. In about 610, in the cave of Hira, he receives a series of revelations from the angel Jibreel, known in English as Gabriel. These revelations later become the basis of the holy book known as the Quran. The spiritual truth of Muhammad's message is a matter of faith, but his life and the impact of his message are to have profound historical significance. At first, Muhammad preaches privately to a select group of family and friends in Mecca. His message centers on the oneness of God, the need for moral reform, and the concept of Islam, submission to God. In time, the followers of this new faith will be known as Muslims. Muhammad then begins to preach in public and gains loyal followers known as the Sahaba. Muhammad's preaching brings him into conflict with members of his own tribe, the Quraysh. The two sides are soon in open war.
You know, I was doing my reaction to Prophet Muhammad. I honestly forgot to continue that series, but a lot of these details are just refreshers because I've reacted to a lot of stuff on Islam at this point.
Around this time, the concept of jihad begins to take shape.
Oh, I did not know this.
Jihad comes to have two meanings. The first, to strive to live in accordance with God's will, through personal effort and moral integrity. The second, physical acts of war, sanctioned by God. After years of conflict with the Quraysh, Muhammad and his followers prevail. And by Muhammad's death in 632, much of Arabia has joined the movement he founded. One of Muhammad's closest companions, Abu Bakr, is chosen as the first caliph, or successor to the Prophet. It is under his leadership and that of his successors that Islam will erupt out of Arabia to transform the Middle East and beyond.
Demonetized. The caliphate. You know, it's funny because I just finished doing my series on that.
Abu Bakr and his successor Omar send Arab armies to attack the two great powers of the age, the Sasanian Empire and Eastern Roman Empire. Both are worn down by decades of conflict against each other, and Arab armies strike like a thunderbolt. One by one, the great cities of the Levant, Syria, Egypt, and Persia fall to Muslim forces. The people who live in these lands are predominantly a mix of Christians, Jews, and Zoroastrians. These non-believers are treated as subjects by their new Arab rulers and pay taxes to them, but they can worship freely. There are few forced conversions and little active preaching of Islam, and so the religion spreads slowly at first.
Very interesting.
Until now, the Quran has been primarily an oral tradition, supported by various written compilations.
Wait, what?
The exact
oral tradition? What does he mean by that? Like it was just spoken? Only spoken? What? I feel like I misinterpreted that because when I think of oral, I think of like mouth, like Not the dirty oral, like, no, like oral, anything to do with lips. But in this case, like, because I'm saying this because people say that, oh, the Quran was revealed to him in the cave. That's what people in my comments always told me. So I assumed that once the Quran was revealed to him in the cave, that he used that to preach Islam. But if I interpreted that correctly, like the Quran was written orally, not written, but the tradition of the Quran at first was an oral tradition, then aren't you like bound to get mistakes? Because when people interpret something, they tend to, and they have to repeat it. They tend to repeat it a lot differently, or how they interpret it, right? They tend to change things up, right? So no, what I am asking is a good question. Let's see.
Circumstances are not clear, but during the reign of Caliph Uthman, the Quran is organized into a single text.
What? Wait, what? So no, I did interpret that correctly. Yeah, I did interpret that correctly. I could have sworn people in my comments, I have like Muslim viewers who literally told me that like the book of the Quran was revealed to him. What? I swear. Like people would say like, oh yeah, the Quran was revealed to him in the cave, where it showed like the pureness, right? Where it was shown all the mistakes that the other Abrahamic religions were doing, and when the Quran was revealed to him, all those mistakes and corruption was like corrected in the Quran. I could have sworn so many people told me that. I'm telling you, I cannot be going mad. No, this is a big deal, because how do you keep it 100% accurate from what Muhammad first heard? If all he heard the Quran was from an oral perspective, I thought he got it as a text. But this whole time at first it was just being repeated. What? Like, you are actually bound to have some inaccuracies or misinterpretations. Like, okay.
This remains the basis for the holy book used around the world today. In 656, Uthman is murdered. The Prophet's cousin and son-in-law, Ali, is elected the new caliph. But others support Uthman's cousin, the governor of Syria, Muawiyah. This conflict triggers Islam's first fitna, or civil war. It is the root of the later division between Shiite and Sunni Muslims.
Yep.
Shia, from Shiat Ali, the party of Ali. Sunni, from Allah Sunnah, the people of the Prophet's way. In 661, Ali is assassinated by a group who become known as the Khawarij. The Umayyad dynasty seize power, moving the capital of the caliphate to Damascus. In 680, a rebellion by Ali's son Hussein ends at Karbala, when he and his small band of followers are massacred by Umayyad forces. It is a key moment in the transformation of Shiism from political movement to a distinct branch of Islam. Shias will look to the leadership of Muhammad's direct descendants. Sunnis will look back to the time of the Prophet and his companions. The Islamic world, riven by warring factions, plunges into a second fitna. But after 12 years of civil war and turmoil, great new conquests will follow.
Hello.
The Umayyads.
By 692, the Umayyads regain control of the Islamic caliphate and resume their conquest of North Africa.
Yep.
Islam spreads quickly among the Berber tribes. And it is a Berber convert, Tariq, who leads Umayyad forces into Iberia.
Wow, the Berbers. Why were the Berbers able to pick it up so quick?
His name to Jabal Tariq, the Rock of Gibraltar. Defeats the Visigoth king Roderick and goes on to conquer much of Spain. The Umayyad Empire now stretches from the Atlantic coast to modern Pakistan.
Yeah, they tried, but
most of its population
got wrecked by the French.
Remains non-Muslim. But there are now a growing number of converts across North Africa, Persia, and Central Asia, known as Mawali. They are treated as inferiors by the Arab elite, stoking resentment.
Of course, your typical colonial empire. I swear. Even now, to this day, bro, like, I literally said in one of my recent reactions this week, I'm like, bro, people are still... I have so many Muslims literally trying to argue with me that the caliphate was not a colonial empire. What it literally was, bro. Like, the entire system of the caliphate is literally so freaking colonial, bro. Literally, bro. I'm not going through all that again.
Rebellion erupts in Khorasan. The Abbasid family, claiming descent from the Prophet's uncle Abbas, claim leadership of this revolt. In 750, they defeat the Umayyads at the Zab River, then systematically wipe out almost the entire dynasty. Only one Umayyad prince, Abd al-Rahman, escapes to Al-Andalus, where he establishes the independent emirate of Cordoba in 756. The Abbasids build a new capital, Baghdad, which becomes a great center of learning.
Yo, I had someone, a Persian guy, I don't know if he still watches my stuff, but he literally binge watched so many of my videos, and he would tell me a bunch of cool facts. And he told me that Baghdad was literally just a copycat version of the old Persian capital of Ctesiphon. He said that when the Arab Muslims saw Ctesiphon, they tried to replicate it and its greatness, but they couldn't. And that city is Baghdad. So he literally told me Baghdad is literally just a freaking fake carbon print copy of Ctesiphon, which is absolutely insane if that is true. I mean, it was still great, but still, like, Ctesiphon was a whole different level. Like, you can never mimic the original. That is a fact.
This is the dawn of what is often called Islam's Golden Age, with remarkable advances in mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and engineering. Shi'ism, now a fully distinct branch of Islam, continues to spread across the caliphate, despite sporadic repression by its Sunni rulers. Sects emerge within Shi'ism, including Twelver Shi'ism, Ismaili Shi'ism, and Zaidi Shi'ism.
What the hell is all that?
Sufi movements, which focus on inner spirituality and detachment from worldly distractions, also emerge in this period, though their early history is uncertain. By the 900s, much of Persia, Egypt, and Syria has turned to Islam. There are practical as well as spiritual benefits from becoming Muslim. Adopting the faith of the ruling elite offers advantages in business, networking, and status. But these regions still remain religiously diverse, with large Christian and Jewish communities, as well as several smaller sects. For many years, Muslim traders have been crossing the semi-arid region known as the Sahel into sub-Saharan Africa. Among their purchases, enslaved Africans to be sold across the caliphate.
Oh my goodness. Flashback to... I just like get comments from these people here and there. Not as much anymore. But like, flashback to all the freaking Muslims who wouldn't stop yapping about freaking
you enslaved your ancestors. How could you kiss up your white colonizers who enslaved your ancestors? European slavery. My Europeans had African slaves.
You know, even though like they were like literally like no better. Like, I mean, the double standards is like hilarious, bro. Y'all should go watch my Zanj Rebellion after this, like where I reacted to like full on details about slavery in the caliphate, and I literally compared slavery to my country, and basically explained like, yeah, no, that shit was a lot worse in the caliphate than what my country had to deal with. And you could go read my comments. Read the comments, you'll see like so many like freaking copers, people freaking coping in my freaking comments. That's absurd, bro.
Following these trade routes,
after this video, of course,
Islam gradually spreads south. In time, as rulers and elites adopt Islam, cities like Timbuktu, Gao, and Kano will become centers of Islamic learning and culture. Muslim merchants also crossed the Arabian Sea and established trading hubs along the East African coast in modern Kenya, Tanzania, and Zanzibar. These ports become centers of commerce, connecting East Africa to a wider Indian Ocean trading zone. Such complex, long-range commercial networks, of which the famous Silk Roads are also part, help Islam to spread deeper into Central, South, and Southeast Asia.
When you have these
the Seljuks. What do we have here with the Seljuks?
In Central Asia, a semi-nomadic Turkic tribe called the Seljuks converts to Islam under the guidance of their leader, Seljuk Beg. The Seljuks carve out their own empire across the Middle East, conquering city after city. In 1055, they capture Baghdad, becoming de facto rulers of the Islamic Caliphate. Under the Seljuks, Islamic political power and religious authority are separated. Seljuk sultans hold military and political power. Religious leadership is provided by the caliphs and Islamic scholars known as ulama. In 1071, Seljuk Sultan Alp Arslan defeats the Byzantine Empire at Manzikert, paving the way for Muslim conquest of Anatolia. But Christendom strikes back. Pope Urban calls for a holy war to liberate the Holy Land. And in 1099, Crusaders storm Jerusalem. Crusader states are established in the region, but remain areas of mixed faith. It is a period of political fragmentation in the Muslim world. Much of the old empire is now ruled by regional dynasties and sects.
Wow.
Seljuks, Ghaznavids, Almoravids, and Fatimids. But in the 12th century, a Kurdish general known as Saladin succeeds in...
Wait, he was Kurdish? What? Saladin? He was Kurdish? Oh, that's sick, bro. Bruh. I thought he was Arab. Kurdish? Nah, this makes me love Kurdish people more.
Egypt, Syria, and Iraq. In 1187, he recaptures Jerusalem, a prestigious victory for Saladin, and a turning point in the war against the Crusaders. Since the 8th century, Muslim merchants and Sufi mystics have traveled the Silk Roads, deep into Central and Eastern Asia. The number of converts to Islam grows steadily. Among them, Berk Khan, grandson of Mongol conqueror Genghis Khan. Berk is said to have encountered a caravan of Muslim merchants at Bukhara and been persuaded by their piety.
Wow.
For now, most Mongols remain loyal to their animist beliefs. In 1258, Berk's cousin Hulagu launches a devastating campaign against Muslim lands that leads to the destruction of Baghdad and execution of the Caliph.
I reacted to that. Go check it out after this.
Muslim faith and culture will conquer the Mongols. Within a century, 3 of the largest Mongol Khanates, from Russia to India, take Islam as their new religion.
I didn't even know the Golden Horde was Islamic Empire. Wow.
East Asia, centuries of contact with Muslim traders is also accelerating the spread of Islam. Around 1267, on the island of Sumatra, the Samudra Pasai Sultanate is founded, which becomes a center of Islamic learning and trade.
I have no idea about
During
this region.
This period,
all I know is that they're like a huge center of freaking Islam. Like I do know that region of the world is very, very Muslim, but I never knew how Islam even reached all the way there.
a new Sufi order emerges in the Sultanate of Rum. The Mevlevi order, who become famous for their whirling dervish ritual, seek spiritual enlightenment and gain steadily in popularity.
What is that?
The 14th century sees rival dynasties vying for control in the Muslim heartlands. The Mamluks in Egypt, the Ilkhanate in Persia, and the many Turkic states of Anatolia, of which one will soon emerge as perhaps the greatest Muslim empire of them all.
Oh, I forgot about the Ottomans for real. Oh shit, yeah.
The 1300s see the dawn of a mighty new Muslim empire. Osman I rules a small Turkic state in northwest Anatolia. Through a series of stunning conquests, his successors forged the Ottoman Empire in modern Turkey. The Ottomans later advance into the Balkans, conquering Bulgaria, Serbia, and Bosnia. Over time, many locals convert to Islam, attracted by economic benefits, legal privileges, and roles in Ottoman government. In 1453, Sultan Mehmet II conquers Constantinople, the former heart of the Eastern Roman Empire and of Orthodox Christianity, becomes an Islamic Ottoman capital. In Southeast Asia,
low-key cursed when you think about it. Like, Constantinople was literally like the center of one of the biggest centers of Christianity in the world, and for it to just be gone and just conquer and just forcefully converted into an Islamic center, that's some cursed stuff right there, bro. Like, that's just a cursed timeline, and that's our canon timeline. It's just one of those cursed, unspeakable things that you wouldn't you think of as a joke, but it actually happened for real.
Islam's influence continues to alter the religious landscape. The ruler of Malacca converts in 1414. He takes the title
I'm more interested
Sultan
in this.
Iskandar Shah and makes Islam the state religion.
I want to see how Islam spread here, because I don't know how.
And alliances, the new sultanate helps Islam to spread further in the region.
Wow.
In 1478, the Demak Sultanate emerges as the first major Muslim state in Java. Meanwhile, in Europe, Granada, the last Muslim stronghold in Iberia, falls to Christian forces in 1492. It marks the end of almost 8 centuries of Muslim rule in Spain. Spanish Muslims and Jews face forced conversion to Catholicism and ultimately expulsion.
First, we offer
In 1501, Shah Ismail I conquers Persia. He is the founder of the Safavid dynasty and declares Twelver Shi'ism the new state religion. It is why today Iran is an overwhelmingly Shia country.
Oh, because of him. Wow, okay.
Ottoman Sultan Selim I conquers Egypt and the Hejaz. He now controls Islam's 2 holiest sites, at Mecca and Medina, and declares himself the new caliph. The title will be held by Ottoman sultans for the next 400 years. In 1526, Babur, a descendant of Genghis Khan, defeats the Delhi Sultanate.
Let's be for real. Genghis Khan has so many descendants, bro. Like, so many.
He lays the foundations of the Muslim Mughal Empire that will rule over much of India and its Hindu majority for the next 2 centuries.
Bro, I had people, freaking Indians, bro, that literally... I still get these comments from time to time on like some of my India reactions. I still get these comments, like these new comments popping up saying like they'll defend the Mughal Empire in India, even though it was a empire, a foreign empire that conquered majority of the India subcontinent, mind you. But they'll cry and complain about the British Empire. It's mind-blowing, bro. I swear, the double standards that a lot of these people have, man. I mean, it's crazy. Like, some of the people would say, like, oh, well, the Mughals developed India, and the British didn't. Even though that's... I mean, it's not wrong to say the British didn't develop India. But it's also... not right as well. Like, it's not right. Like, it's not right, but it's not wrong. You know, like, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like, it's like yes it. It's like yes it. I don't know. But like, I I even said this in like the video that I reacted to about this. Like, simply put it, like the Mughal Empire just simply was the India subcontinent. It just so happened to be the India subcontinent. Like, that was where their territory spanned. The British Empire wasn't just a subcontinent, it was a global empire, 25% of the damn world at its peak. So of course a lot of the resources are going to be siphoned away to, well, you know, London. The Mughals didn't have a global empire, so the resources are obviously going to be concentrated and used and siphoned, well, throughout their empire, which just so happened to be the Indian subcontinent. So of course it'll be developed too, because, well, that's where they are. That's their entire empire. They're gonna need to develop it, duh.
But elsewhere, there are signs that Muslim power is beginning to wane. The Russians defeat the Khanates of Kazan, Astrakhan, and Sibir, while Ottoman naval power suffers a first major check at the Battle of Lepanto. The high water mark of Ottoman expansion comes a century later at the failed siege of Vienna. From around this point on, the two great Muslim empires, the Ottoman and Mughal, find themselves increasingly challenged by internal divisions and external foes. In 18th century Arabia, the reformist Wahhabi movement is born, characterized by suspicion of many traditional Islamic beliefs and practices. It acquires political influence through alliance with the Al Saud family, rulers of the first Saudi state. The 19th century is an age of rampant European colonialism. Its targets include several Muslim countries, such as Algeria, Libya, Egypt, and Sudan. In several places, Islam becomes a powerful aspect of resistance to Christian colonizers. Colonialism also contributes to the birth of a new fundamentalist movement, Salafism,
What is
which
this?
seeks a return to the practices of the early Muslim community. Some of its followers will turn to armed jihad to challenge those it sees as occupiers and oppressors of Muslims.
Probably one of the biggest.
The modern age. The modern age.
Ottoman defeat in World War I, Turkish leader Kemal Atatürk attempts to steer the country towards a more secular future. As part of the process, in 1924, he dissolves the Ottoman Caliphate, a title Turkish rulers had claimed for 4 centuries. The political earthquakes of the 20th century, world wars, communist revolution, and decolonization profoundly alter the political map of Islam. In August 1945, Indonesia declares independence from Dutch colonial rule. It becomes home to the world's largest Muslim population. As the British Empire recedes, it leaves behind new divisions. In 1947, the partition of India creates the Muslim majority states of West and East Pakistan, which later becomes Bangladesh. In 1948, the new Jewish state of Israel.
You know what's crazy about the whole partition of India? You know, people like to say that, oh my gosh, like so many conflicts were created by the British and due to the fact that they drew these horrible colonial lines and blah, 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 blah. Bro, you know, like the British literally tried in India. They tried to divide the country to not cause problems and conflict. Now, of course, there were going to be problems and conflict because these white Europeans that had no idea about India, that were never, well, really around the Indian subcontinent, didn't know jack shit, right? But it's like, you know, you still have to acknowledge that the British at least tried. They didn't just leave. Like, you know, that's the crazy part about this, you know. They literally just could have just up and left. Like, but they were like, wait, no, let's not do that because that might cause a lot of problems. Let's try to do something. Let's try to, like, have a smooth transition. Now, unfortunately, that didn't happen. But I'm just pointing that out. You know what I mean?
Israel is founded.
Oh,
What had been British Mandate Palestine.
oh no, demonetized.
In 1979, the Iranian Revolution overthrows the Shah and establishes a Shia Islamic Republic, led by Ayatollah Khomeini. In the late 20th century, historic colonial ties and economic migration lead to the growth of Muslim communities across Western Europe and North America. Muslims become an integral part of the Western cultural landscape. Just as on the global stage, dangerous new tensions emerge. In 2001...
Oh, he's going modern. Oh, he going modern. He did not do that with Christianity. Okay.
A militant Islamic network called Al-Qaeda attacks the Twin Towers in New York.
Oh, he going this deep.
Suddenly,
I was not expect. Yo. Oh, damn. This might demonetize my video. I was not expecting him to go this deep. What the heck?
The West, Islam is seen as a threat, vilified by some media and politicians. A gulf grows between how most Muslims see their faith and some perceptions in the West. Tensions between religious and political extremists persist in the West to the present day. There have also been serious conflicts between the state and some Muslim groups in Russia, Myanmar, ongoing persecution in China, and an escalating conflict in Israel-Palestine. These are not the first crises in Islam's fortress.
Epic History TV. Don't say that word. No, don't say that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This. Please, YouTube, don't demonetize, shadow ban, or censor this video, because I know you like to do that, even though YouTube likes to deny that it doesn't do that.
1800-year history. A period in which the religion has shown incredible endurance and adaptability.
Oh my God.
Carried by traders and conquerors, it has traveled to distant lands, from Iberia to Indonesia, uniting peoples and inspiring the rise of great civilizations. Whether seen through the lens of faith or history, the rise of Islam is one of the most remarkable journeys in our collective past. Its legacy lives on in the 1.9 billion Muslims on Earth today. Do you enjoy?
Well, yeah, so I had someone get angry at me because he gave me a suggestion, right? I didn't instantly do his suggestion because I have so many suggestions to do. And I looked at him and I told him, bro, I have so many suggestions. Now, why am I saying this, you might be asking? For goodness sakes, you know, I always say this at the end of every video. If you're an active viewer of mine and, you know, you like suggesting me videos, dude, you know, like I said, college, work, job, you know, I'm going to get more people on my channel, you know, more comments, all that eventually, you know, just life, dude, right? You know, it's going to be harder for me to respond to comments. It's going to be longer for me to do suggestions. This is why I purposely have a channel membership that is only 99 cents per month, guys. Yes, 99 cents. I purposely made it cheap so that my active viewers, and this is why I only say active viewers, I don't just say anyone, my active dedicated viewers can keep closer connections. I keep closer ties with me. You know, we benefit. That's the whole point. Mutual symbiotic relationship. I hope I used that word correctly. But anyways, man, the link is going to be in the description, you know, to the membership link if you're interested in joining and you want to hear all the details that you would get being a member, because it's not just that, okay? Those aren't the only details, bruh, okay? You know, thank you for watching and goodbye, man. Check out, bruh, I'm gonna put some videos on the end screen. Go check those videos out. I'm telling you, if you haven't already, but go check those videos out.